now gone through a really good in-depth view of blue ocean strategy, really what that entails. I've actually used for you the slides provided by the actual publishers of the material because I want you to be able to sit down and grab that and use it if you choose to do that. I encourage you to do a lot of exploration if you want to use this. There's another one out there. It is not developed even close to the depth of the blue ocean strategy called 0 to 1. And there's a big difference between them. Here is in the whole world of Peter Thiel's new book, 0 to 1. It shines like a laser beam. It's a self-help book for entrepreneurs, bursting with bromides and sunny confidence about the future that only startups can build. And much more than that, it's also lucid and profound articulation of capitalism and success in the 21st century economy. That's actually a reviewer. I have to tell you, I agree with the reviewer. This guy did a nice job in the book, and I have to tell you, it's really a different aspect of it. Thiel, he is actually the founder of PayPal. He really recruited Elon Musk in the process, and they built it together. Elon Musk have a lot of chutzpah. He's a great entrepreneur. Thiel is more cerebral than that, except for the fact that together they built the entire thing of PayPal. Elon Musk sold his share out and made his millions upon millions in the process, launched Tesla, and I can't even talk about the aspect of the greatness of his entrepreneurial mind. He's a little bit quirky an awful lot of times on top of that, but that being said, Thiel is actually the founder. He's got a lot of idiosyncrasies of his own. He's the one that helped inspire the oddball character in Silicon Valley called Peter Gregory. If you ever watch it, you can see Thiel in action. And yeah, he is that weird and strange in the process. The Thielian future and the continuation of the review of cyborg teenagers living for 200 years in pressurized cabins under the Caribbean. This is not a man to be faulted for thinking too small. And by the way, there are actually small villages undersea that sit there and protect you from a lot of the sun's harm that causes us. And you might be able to live for 200 years, provided you get a set of gills and wider feet and big shoes. Okay, so Thiel, the book, it's a bit cerebral. It expounds on almost identical concepts found in Blue Ocean. None of the concepts are new between 0 to 1 or Blue Ocean. They're just newly articulated, and they do a really good job. The premise of the 0 to 1 book is, instead of competing, create a brand new frontier. And here is the twist between 0 to 1, which is why I encourage you to consider that reading this book as well. On top of it, I know a lot of people today are not readers, but if you want to be a serious entrepreneur, these two books, both Blue Ocean and 0 to 1, are must reads if you want to dive into this market. The twist here, Thiel doesn't talk about it. He actually is not in the classroom. He's an entrepreneur. So he writes this book. He talks about the aspect of over here, if you want to open a new market, come over here. He does it and then tells what he did. That's why I encourage you to sit down and go in the process. If you want to dive into something new where there's no market, no competitors, and potentially a massive market, get both. Use your concepts, your new knowledge and insights, and develop a model that's powerful but needs deep planning before you dive into it. They're both comparable. They actually, on Blue Ocean, they have a class online. When I checked it, was $327.77. Okay, the Blue Ocean book is $23, and the 0 to 1 book is $17 in the process. Go take a look out there. Go do some more explanation. If you are going to dive into a field, you have to be knowledgeable about the field. You have to be prepared for all the twists and turns. This area, I think, is a phenomenal business strategy, except for the fact that as a business model, it's a bit more riskier. There are no franchises. There was no franchise for PayPal. There was no franchise for Tesla. It was raw risk, terrifying, and it had to be a giant roller coaster, but I'll bet they enjoyed every moment of the process. Think, study, and own these theories, especially if you want to dive into the world of Blue Ocean strategy or 0 to 1 business model. Take care.